Hi everyone, I'm Heather Wen, a retired nurse practitioner and the founder and practitioner at Arizona Healing Alternatives. On this channel you'll find several videos, what I like to call aha moments, where we'll be discussing issues that impact your health. So whether you decide to use Western medicine, alternative medicine, or even a mix of both, I'm passionate about you knowing what your options are. So I grew up watching The Love Boat. Should I admit that? Because that shows my age. But basically, I grew up watching it. I thought it was so cute, although everything got solved like in 30 minutes to an hour. But basically, we're going to be talking about kind of like The Love Boat. Which cabin are you in? Are you in the falling in love aspect of the cabin? Or are you in the, oh my gosh, I'm in something I shouldn't be in and needing to get off that boat right away? This love series is not for kids. All of my videos I put on YouTube are not for children, but especially this is not for kids. Disclaimers are not for kids. And also, once I've always said in like my other communication videos, I am not a licensed clinical psychologist or psychiatrist or marriage and family counselor. I don't have that background. I have a background in helping people as a nurse practitioner and a background now in emotional reprogramming through applied kinesiology and hypnosis. But I am going to put in this series slides up because they came from some very, very good articles on the subject, and this particular website also takes people to where you can get help, and I'm going to be putting those things up because if it's beyond what I can do, I want you to know where you can get some help. So stay tuned for our love series and figuring out on the Love Boat which cabin you're in. So now we're in part 5. We've talked about some of the really wonderful things about love, some of the ugly sides of love, and the last one was talking about abuse. In this one, we're going to talk about a very specific sort of personality disorder that can be very tricky to spot, but can lead into abuse without you even knowing it. It's called narcissism. So I'm sure many of you have heard the term narcissism, or that person is so narcissistic, right? Well, there's a very specific personality disorder or a narcissistic personality disorder that is so subtle and so difficult to spot when it comes to abuse. It's important that we cover this topic. So when it comes to a narcissist, and I'm once again going to show you those articles, and there was a really good one on covert narcissism and all this stuff. I'm not going to cover all the details, but I want to give you sort of the bare bones as to what to watch for. So similarly to when people talk about serial killers, not that narcissists kill people, that's not what I'm saying, some do, but basically similar to how charming many serial killers are, charming narcissists. What happens with someone who has a narcissistic personality disorder, and like I said, I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, so I'm just going to give you the bare bones of it, is that that person has had usually something very traumatic happen to them, that they have shut off all of their emotions. Now, that's not to say that there are certain people that don't show their emotions. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a very clinical picture of somebody who doesn't understand human emotions. Serial killers. Okay, things like how can somebody do something like that, right? But also narcissists in general, they don't understand human emotions because they've shut that part down as protection. So what they do is they observe people. They're very observant in observing people and how they react and how they get what they want. At the base level of recognizing a narcissist is somebody where you realize that everything is all about them. That's the key. Everything in how they view the world, that other people are to blame. They do not take responsibility for their own behavior. It's always somebody else that caused something to happen, as well as, well, like I said, they're very charming. So when you're around them, they could be the life of the party. It's all about them, right? They could be very quiet too. But ultimately, it comes down to the fact that their job, which I'm not saying that any of this is conscious, but their job is to make you feel relaxed and feel comfortable. Meanwhile, they lure you in with them being self-deprecating. They'll oftentimes put themselves down, do these things to get you to build them up. It's always about them and what's going on. And since they don't understand human emotion, it's very, very complex because they can play act. They're the best actors on the planet that you ever want to meet. And they will do the gaslighting and some of the other things we talked about in the abuse video. And it can be very, very difficult to spot. There could be this jealousy or oh my gosh, it can be medical where they just need you so bad that you can't, everything in life revolves around them, their schedule, their health. Everything is in relationship to them. Meanwhile, making you feel like there's something wrong with you that if you needed to take care of yourself. It can be related to guilt, can be related to all sorts of other things. But that's the classic thing at the bare bones, is somebody who, and like I said, they're incredibly charming. So it's hard, very, very hard, which is why I encourage you to seek out professional help when you are with a narcissist. There are many times when it feels great and it's wonderful. But if you realize it's usually great and wonderful if everything revolves around their needs and what they want. And that's an important thing. And this goes into an actual personality disorder. So that's why don't get upset with yourself if you've been with or had friendships with or these sorts of things with a narcissist, because it's very, very hard to spot. But once again, the keys to this is when you listen to them, it's usually all about them. It'll go back to them all of the time, okay? And so please, if you have any questions, read that article, read the 2 articles. I think they're really important on that. And get help if you need it, because that narcissistic personality is, you'd think it'd be so easy to spot because the person would be talking about themselves all the time. They have learned how to work in the world, and while they don't really understand human emotions, they're capable of it. This is not somebody who can't cry. They can cry, they can emote, they can do all these things, which is why it makes it so hard to spot. I hope this series, I hope all of this has been helpful, that love can be amazing. Love is amazing, wonderful, fantastic. It also has its downsides and sides where, it makes you not really, your judgment is not so clear. But love is wonderful, but trusting your gut is the key. Trust your gut to what type of relationship you're in, what type of relationship you want, what type of love you want in your life, because love is an amazing thing, but it is very powerful, both in the positive and in some of the drawbacks, falling into it to knowing when you need to get out of it and when you need to get help to do that. Please feel free to leave any comments in the comments section. If you have anything you want to let me know about, I'm happy to respond to that. And then please stay safe no matter what. Enjoy love, enjoy your life, and get help if it's time to get out of something that isn't in your benefit or to your benefit. Thank you so much. Have a great day.